What's going on, NBA fans? Welcome to another episode, the second episode of NBA Central. We are locked in today, and we're going to be talking about extensions to Brandon Clarke and Kevin Porter Jr. and what that could mean for their future with their respective teams, how those deals work out. We'll grade those deals. And then also, it's the last day of the offseason officially. There are a lot of markers that need to be hit by teams. Anybody on the Exhibit 10-day deal needs to be converted, things like that. So we'll talk about those type of things. We'll get into all that and more right after this. All right, so yesterday we talked about the extensions to Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole and just what that means for their respective teams. Well, we have new updates and new extensions on this one. First up is Kevin Porter Jr. He gets his rookie extension. The first year is fully guaranteed, $15.9 million with year 2 and year 3 becoming fully guaranteed on June 30th, 2024. There's also a guarantee date of June 30th, 2025 for the 26-27 season. The contract also includes incentives for games played, team success. Overall, this is a really solid contract, I feel, for Kevin Porter Jr., who continues to grow and has gotten better almost every season in his NBA career. He did take a little bit of a dip as far as the points per game last season, only one, but overall, his averages last season were 15 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 1.1 steals, a little under a block per game. So, a solid player with them, averaging 31 minutes for them, started all 61 games that he played. This is an extension that I think everyone knew was coming at some point. When you look at that Houston Rockets team, they still don't have a lot to look forward to, right? They're still going to be a team that's probably bad for a couple more years, but they are locking in their young talent. Kevin Porter Jr., even though he's entering his 4th season in the NBA, only 22 years old, he still has a lot of room that he can exceed at and grow at. So I'm looking at this deal. This is a really solid deal for him, in my opinion. When you look at some of the protections and incentives based in it, consider he's a young player that could very well still hit a leap and continue to grow. Those incentives could very well be hit by him easily. A solid contract. I don't feel like it's an overpay. I feel like this is solid for him overall. Looking at Brandon Clarke, he gets a 4-year, $52 million extension with the Memphis Grizzlies. Almost the same thing as Kevin Porter as far as he's still a young player, 26 years old. They will have him locked up until his age 30 season, which means as he's entering his prime, it'll be towards middle of prime, right? They have him locked in till, and with a team that has championship aspirations sooner rather than later, this deal just made sense for him and for the team, and they move forward. So solid deals, I think, in both cases. I don't look at either one as a head scratching deal or anything like that. These were to be expected, and they got them done before the season starts. So at least they can go in for those players not worrying about a contract. They settled there, and they can focus on playing basketball, and that's what this key thing is, and that's what you want if you can going into the season. Have everybody just focus on the basketball aspects and get that over and done with. Now, update that we have as well, we do know Seth Curry and Joe Harris will be out for this the Brooklyn Nets season opener against the Pelicans. So they're in injury rehab. Again, we'll see what happens. The Brooklyn Nets are one of those teams that it's hard to really predict, right? They look really good in what we've seen them in, and having Kyrie, Simmons, and KD out there on the floor together could be a really good pairing between those three. But at the end of the day, it's I don't know, there's just something with the Brooklyn Nets that just keeps me from fully believing in them personally. But we'll see. Again, they are a team. They're definitely going to be a good team at that. But as far as how far they can go, some people even have them predicted instead of the Bulls to be in the play and things like that. We'll see what happens with the Nets. Hopefully that they continue to just play well, play solidly, and we'll see what happens with that. That's really what it boils down to with that. So we'll see. Now, we're heading into the opening of the season. This is some of the most exciting times because everybody right now is usually hopeful about their teams. If you're down on your team right now, considering where we are heading into the season, it probably means your team's in rebuild mode or close there to it. But this is just an exciting time. We open the season up tomorrow with the games with Philly versus Boston. The Lakers versus Golden State are the two games that open the season tomorrow. Then my team plays on Wednesday, the Chicago Bulls. But it's a really exciting time for all NBA fans right now. And when you look at the excitement level going into it, we can talk all day about rankings, who's projected to go to do what teams are projected to be in the playoffs, what teams are projected to be play-ins. But as of right now, it's one of the, like I said, it's the most exciting time as a fan, right? As a fan. But let's get into some of the deadlines that we have today, and there could be a lot of moves today. So rosters must be submitted for the 2022-23 season today. So that means everything has to be finalized. If a player's on an Exhibit 10 deal, it has to be converted to at least a two-way contract by the end of today. 6 p.m. is the deadline to sign players to rookie extensions. So we could have, just like we talked about, we could have a bevy of extensions to talk about by the end of the day. And it's also the deadline to sign veterans with 2 years left on their contract to an extension as well. So a lot of extension deadlines there. We'll see how active it is over the course of the day today, leading into that 6 p.m. deadline with things like that. We'll see what other rookies get extensions done with their team. So be locked into this channel, NBA Central, for the latest news and everything as things drop. I'll try to get episodes out. Like I said before, if you follow me over on Chicago Bulls Central, I get news out pretty quickly here. Luckily, my studio is built in my house, so I can do things like that. So be on the lookout. Me and Pat, the designer, will also have a video dropping today in which we're going to predict the standings of the Western Conference, which is different for us because we both cover the Bulls, which are Eastern Conference teams, and we talk a lot about that. But we will be covering the Western Conference and going over their standings. And I'm going to try to get an episode in with the Cognac Boys in which we're going to go over the Eastern Conference standings. So be on the lookout for that content coming up on this channel. Make sure you're locked into NBA Central, like I like to end every episode on. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.